Hello, 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 and welcome to yet another episode of your favorite podcast. Maybe Seth Rogen's favorite podcast, Barack Obama's favorite podcast, perhaps.
Hello.
It's definitely Michelle's. But either way, we're here not for them, not for the big guys, for you. This is Futon Talks, and this is another beautiful, scrumptious episode. And this time it's on a pseudo-exclusive on a really, really fun game from another little studio. It's called Cana, Bridge of Spirits. Just wanted to lead off with that because I was right and Chris was wrong.
You were right. It's not how it's spelled, but it's fine.
Maybe it is how it's spelled and you just can't read.
I can read fine.
I don't know about that. I'm just, I wanted to publicly show that I was right. That's the main reason I'm even doing this show. So,
yes.
But anyways, this is my amazing co-host. He may not be able to read, but he is a good friend. Introduce yourself, Chris.
My name is Christopher Midling, and I am sick.
That is true. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Despite the sickness.
Thank you for coming into my quarantine zone.
Yeah, that's good. My wife's
invading
gonna be,
my space.
She's going to be very upset when I come home sick.
Yeah.
When I'm sick, she won't be near me. She won't kiss me. She won't hug me. She doesn't want to be near me at all. Mm-hmm. She hates being sick. She has this really funny thing with vomit.
Funny thing with vomit, what does that mean?
Okay, so like, if a dog were to vomit near you, how would you react? You'd be like, oh, that's a little gross, and you clean up the vomit.
No, that's disgusting. I'd get away.
Gosh, what's wrong with you guys? It's not that bad.
It's just saliva and mucus and... Oh.
But like, would you gag?
No, I wouldn't gag. I'd just be grossed out.
Because she can't be near it.
I hate cleaning up because I hate feeling like the warm, liquidy. Yeah, exactly.
It's not that bad. But the thing is, she can't be near it. There's the phone for the quadrillionth time. But she
can't be near it.
If she looks at it or hears the dog like gag, she starts to like dry heave.
Interesting.
And she needs to like leave the room, but she can't do it.
Yeah.
Even like if you talk, even if you talk about it for like an extended period of time, if you talk about like vomit, she'll like start having a seizure. Like she can't do it. She has to leave. It's amazing. Anyways,
noted.
little story about my wife, but there's no vomit in this game.
No.
Cana has nothing to do with it.
Where did they even come up from?
I have no idea.
Why'd you bring it up?
Oh, because you're sick.
Yeah, but I'm not vomiting.
You did this to me.
Sick.
Oh, it's just throat sick?
Yeah.
I see.
Head sick. Chest sick.
You got the China virus.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. I hope that everyone remembers you well once you're dead.
That's fine. Science will cure me back to health.
That's right. This episode's sponsored by Zions, the health drink which will cure COVID-19. Don't believe that.
I'll try not to sniffle.
You better not.
I don't want to edit all the sniffles out.
Yeah, I mean, for your sake, you better not. I don't deal with that audio crap. I'm going to sniffle all over the place now.
Yeah.
But, Chris, let's jump right in. Let's get into this discussion of this interesting game.
Should we do a spoiler-free thing first and then...
I was just going to say that.
Okay, good.
I mean, I wasn't going to say it, but I thought about it, and I'm glad that you, my perfect co-host, did.
That's right.
Do you want to lead that spoiler-free discussion?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So, Cana, Bridge of Spirits, is about a young girl named Cana, who is a spirit guide.
Yes.
And she is helping these spirits in this forest basically go to heaven. Like, they're stuck in this limbo because of either it's mortal regret, pretty much, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically it. There's this little... Yeah, I think that's... Any further would be spoiler territory. But that is the game. And you find these little creatures that are spirits that help you. It's like the spirit of the forest, and they help you guide these spirits back to heaven.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. Should people buy this game? Should people play this game?
I think so. I think even though I personally feel like the game has flaws, and we'll probably talk about that a little bit, even before we go into like spoiler talk. I think there are definite issues with the game where it's not a perfect game, is what I'm trying to say. But I think it is certainly a thing most people should experience if they have like a PS5 or a computer. I think that you should definitely get the game. I mean, it's $40 and to me, it's definitely worth the price of entry. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth it. I like these $30 to $40 games that I can complete in 12 hours and never look at ever again.
Dang.
It's like, if you're a fan of old school like platformers, like Jak and Daxter or the SpongeBob game, you'll feel right at home playing this game. And it's more indie than I thought it would be.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
Maybe not indie, but just it feels
Indonesian.
It feels more low budget than I was expecting it to be, but in a good way.
I'm interested in that. Like, what do you mean by that? Because I do agree to a point. There are parts to me that don't feel hyper polished.
Yeah, I mean, like, some of the mechanics aren't there, but...
And you can talk about mechanics as long as it's not like some crazy thing before we go into spoiler talk.
I don't know how to really describe it. I don't know if I was expecting more or less before playing this game. So I'm in this weird like little limbo myself, how to feel about this game. I really like the game though. I love the game actually. But yeah.
This game had me weirdly conflicted. I thought the music was wonderful. It's worth listening to. It's really pretty. I thought the gameplay, especially the combat, had much more depth than I thought it would. I thought it was going to be much more of a puzzler or something. But it was like a full-fledged game. In fact, I thought the combat might be the best part of the game to an extent. Like, it's worth playing just for the combat. I thought it just played really well when you were in the combat sections. I thought it was the game is just stunning. Like, it might be the most beautiful game I've ever played. It's insane how good this game looks. It's just beautiful. It's like breathtaking. I almost can't put it into words. I'll put some screenshots here, because that's all I did in this game was take millions of photos. Yeah, it's really beautiful. It's worth playing. For me, the part that falls the most flat is the story. I thought it was meh. And I thought the platforming was super buggy, at least for me. There were a million times where I thought I was like on something and Kano would just like just slide off and die. It's like constantly.
Yeah, this game does have a lot of I found lots of holes, let's say, in the game where I would be like walking by a bush and I would fall through the earth.
It's pretty buggy. And I will say this, 1.05 or whatever, the day one patch fixed a ton. Which you never did because you're a cheater.
Yeah.
You wanted your free platinum.
I'm proud of it.
But I had way more bugs the first day I played it, like falling through the ground and like the rot, which is what the little guys are called. I don't think that's a spoiler.
No.
The rot who help you, they're like your little minions, they're your companion or whatever. They can move stuff around for you and whatever. Anyways, they would just like get stuck and I'd have to close the game and open it again to make them work. But after the day one patch, almost every issue was resolved. Which makes me think that the platforming stuff is just, they did bad. But it could also just be me. I felt like the double jump didn't do what I wanted it to do. Like, because the double jump in this game, it just kind of pushes you up where you are. But it doesn't push you forward.
Yeah.
So there'd be a ton of times when I'd be like, jump? and then just kind of hang in the air and die, you know? But that's just me. I think I'm just used to double jumps being more like boom, boom, like an extra jump. In this one, it's more just like a little boost up. But great game. I mean, like I said, I think people should play it. And it's the kind of game I didn't want to delete when I finished it. It's like, I want to go back and just look at stuff and try stuff out. But I would say that the story is just a little inconsistent quality-wise for me personally. I think some people might love all of it. But for me, it starts really strong and it just goes downhill.
Yeah.
However, I think the combat is the opposite. I mean, it goes from being pretty boring to being some of the most engaging combat I've participated in like years. And you should see my wife and I fight. I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean? Like, to me, it really grew a lot of depth. And the boss fights are worth the price of entry alone. I thought the boss fights, all of them together, were great. And they only get better during the second half. It really skyrockets in quality. So it's just a weird mixed bag.
Yeah.
But it's worth playing. Go buy it. Anyways, let's end our spoiler discussion there.
Yeah.
Well, let's begin our spoiler discussion.
Let's start it now.
Exactly. So get out of here. You people who don't want to be spoiled, go buy the game. Support Ember Lab. They're awesome. This is their first real game.
That's crazy.
I know. For like a freshman effort, bang. Wow. This is great. At least I think so.
Good for them.
It is good for them. Before this, all they did was Coke ads, like Coca-Cola, not the drug.
So how do you want to go about this?
The thing I always want to talk about is just like the issues, you know, like my problems with it.
I'll start. I loved the first arc, the first third of the game.
Taro
is by far the best part.
Yep, I totally agree. Like, I'm with you 100%, my friend.
Like, that story connected with me way more and was more emotionally impactful than the other two. But I don't know if it's because the other two were trying to hit the same mark, so it just felt diluted every time because it's trying to hit the same level. It wasn't trying to get better. Or Taro's just like every time you would beat a boss, or you'd find like this little memory of the spirit that you're trying to uncorrupt.
Yeah, you want to explain like the general mechanics of each area really quick?
Yeah, so you would find, like, you get to the village, the main hub, and then you meet this old man named Zojuro, I think. And he will give you a mask for the spirit that you have to go uncorrupt. And then that mask unlocks certain doors. Tenant.
Closes
and like for Taro, for example, you meet his younger brothers and they guide you to, or they try to help you cure Taro and to find him. They're looking for him. And it's really sad thinking that you're helping these kids and they're dead.
Yeah, everyone you talk to is dead.
Like, it took me a little bit to realize that they're not just like mythical beings with blue hair, but they're actually ghosts. So that's really sad. And so with this mask, you would find, I don't know, each one's kind of the same, right?
Yeah, you find go 3 relics.
Shrines, you cure the rot or the poison, and then you do a couple boss battles, and I don't know, you just, it's right. I'm totally forgetting that you have to get like the 3 artifacts that will summon the spirit.
Yeah, and each relic or artifact or whatever is an item that was important to the person, but also that kind of played a part in their last days on Earth. Yeah, essentially.
And then after you do that, you kind of get like a full encompassing cinematic of their last day on Earth. And Taro's was like so powerful.
Yeah.
And so sad. And then you fight the boss, which is like this corrupted Taro. And then afterwards,
which is a bloodborne boss.
Yeah. And then afterwards you help the brothers like reconnect, and then they go to heaven or some higher
Pass
spiritual
on or whatever
place. Yeah. But yeah, and I do have to say about the music. The music was my favorite part of the game, and some of the songs were like Walking Dead season 1 level of emotionally resonant or resonance.
Mm-hmm.
The music is amazing.
It's so good.
It's so good.
And it's mostly the same melody.
For the most part, yeah.
But it can evoke so many different emotions from you. It's really powerful.
It's by far the best original soundtrack I've heard in a while. Probably since maybe Returnal, but
ooh, Returnal did have a great soundtrack.
Yeah,
The Pathless had a really great soundtrack.
Yes, it did.
Which for me links a lot with this game, but we'll talk about that later.
The Path. I was thinking the Pathless with this game. I was trying to also for some reason compare these games. I was like, what's better, this or the Pathless? Even though they don't function the same at all.
Here's the thing. I guess we'll just jump into it.
I will say the last boss is probably just like copy and paste.
It's pretty similar design-wise, interestingly enough.
Is it better?
I thought the last boss was good. Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there. Let's cover the story. The Pathless will come back up, I'm sure. But let's try to just bang out the story, because I think that's where most of our real problems with the game reside, right?
Yeah.
Because I agree with you, the first third is fabulous. And I ended there for like a day. And I was like, it just keeps going up, baby. Like, like I really thought it was going to be amazing. It can't get better. And it didn't. I came back to play it last night, which is, a bad trend in my life. I just didn't have time to finish the game earlier in the week, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I probably beat the first third over the course of a couple days. And then I beat the rest of the game last night. And I just felt like a little disappointed.
With the second...
With the 2/3, right?
2/3, yeah.
I thought at first it was just because I played too much of it and I was rushing. But the more I've thought about it, I was like, man, I just think they didn't stack up. Well, Adira? Is that her name?
Yeah, Adira and...
Hana. It did. Their story did not resonate with me in the slightest. Like
the only part that resonated with me was finding out what happened with Hana. She went out to go find food, and then months went by, and she never came back.
She did.
So she's dead. She died in the ocean, most likely.
And that's a spooky place. I guess for me, Taro's story was really impactful because of its immediacy. Right? I mean, he's just horrified because he lost his brother and sister, and they're dead because of this horrible storm that came. They died under his watch. He looked the wrong way. They walked away. They ran away. They're dead. And that story takes over. It happens over a course of like 3 days. He gets his leg broken. It's just horrifying. And he feels so horrible about it. But it seems like Adira and Hana's story takes place over like a really long period of time.
Yeah,
months. Where she just builds this tower to guide her home. But like she knows Hana's dead. It's like it's almost disconnected. It's like they wanted a tower. And so they were like, how do we fit this tower into this region? Because the tower will look cool. Does that make sense?
That's what it is. It's a lighthouse.
Yeah. Well, you don't technically know that till the end. But like...
It's a bad looking lighthouse.
I know, it's kind of ugly. But I think...
you can't explore.
That you can't explore. And I think that's what happened, is they wanted this set piece, and they had the idea for a woodsmith, but they didn't really have a good idea of how to make it work with the story and be impactful. I don't know. That's how I felt. It felt a little disjointed to me. In that area, it just doesn't hold the same visual impact that the first does. I mean, the first area is one of the most stunning things I've ever seen.
Yeah, that Forbidden Forest is crazy looking.
It's insane.
It's like Shadow of the Colossus Forest. It's crazy.
Insanely beautiful. And so the second one is just kind of a...
And then the whole thing with the giant tree that's like imploded. Yeah. Or whatever that was. That was a tree, right?
I think it was like a tree knocked over, and that's like the roots from the bottom.
Oh, it's crazy looking.
It looks amazing.
It's terrifying. But yeah, I don't know what happened with that second How do I happy with that second area, man?
And the second area I think is the worst. I
It's
actually
so
like
big.
it's huge.
And there's no path. It's just like one giant area. Like, I'll tell you right now, I hated getting the platinum for this game.
I won't.
Don't do it.
I will not.
It's painful.
Dude, I scoured every inch of that second area and was still like 4 or 5 rotten short, and I was like, no, absolutely not. Like, there's no way I'm gonna do this.
We'll get into that later, because that's probably like my biggest pet peeve with the game. But yeah, the whole farm fields area
Very samey.
with the ox that you only used once, Rufus. I thought he was gonna be like a bigger part of the story, or like a mechanic that you can like unlock new areas with.
Me too.
No, he's used once.
One
And
time.
then he's gone.
Although I will say, because this is the thing, each area has its own theme puzzle-wise. In the first area, it's really about the bow and you shooting different things and like platforming in general. In this one, you use a bomb to pretty much start a timer for a platforming puzzle. And I thought it was actually quite good. I really liked a lot of the puzzles that came from this area. So there's that. I liked this area mechanically because I liked the bombs. I liked everything just woven together using the bombs plus the arrows plus the melee plus the jumping plus, you know, I think that all melded really well together mechanically, but visually, narratively, it just didn't work. And it, like you said, it was way too big.
Yes.
And it all looks the same.
Yes, it does. The most striking part of it is that swampy area, which doesn't turn it like goes from a swamp to looking normal.
Yep. And it's pretty. Like, it's still gorgeous. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's not that it's ugly. It's really beautiful, but we were exploring the same buildings on the same grass
Oh my gosh.
next to the same incredible looking water.
Looking for the water.
It's insane.
I want to drink that water.
Right?
Like,
I want a tall glass of that.
Playing that while sick, I was like, man, that'd be nice to swim in right now, having this fever. I was like, that looks really good.
Dude, it was beautiful. My mom was like, that water looks more real than real water.
Yeah, it's true. It does. But dude, looking for the rot in this area, not as bad as the village, but pretty bad. Where like so to look for the rot, you have to find like pink butterflies
Or something.
or for whatever is floating around there, and half the time they're in the rocks, and you have to blow up the rocks. You know how many times I look at the same rock and then be like, oh, wait, it is right there. It's terrible.
And because they respawn too. Why did they respawn? I don't want them to respawn. I want to know what I've done.
They respawn?
The rocks do, yeah.
Oh, the rocks do. Okay.
The ones that you blow up in that
I think with
area.
the rot, I was like, nah, that's crazy.
Because I would get a rock, and I'd be like, okay, that rock's done. And I'd walk by like 5 minutes later, the rock's
And the
back.
rock's there because you can get the gems from it.
Oh my gosh, the gems. The gems are actually a big problem I have with this game. We'll get to that. Stay focused, Chris.
Yeah. But yeah, Adira and Hana's story goes... That boss was the hardest boss for me. Was hers.
Me too. Do you want to take a section to go over the bosses? Because there's probably 7 bosses of note that I'd like to talk about a little more in depth.
3 for me.
Really?
I think so. Maybe there's a few. There's a few.
I like all the bosses leading up to Toshi. I like Toshi. I like the last boss, and I like Taro, and I like whatever her name is, Adira.
That's true. There's like 3 before Toshi, and then there's about 7. You're right.
I'm a counter.
Yeah, you are. But yeah, you help them. They're together now. I wish I saw more of like, because you enter the new area, which was really cool, and it's on fire.
I thought it was going to be a new aesthetic.
I thought so too.
It would have been great.
I thought it was going to look burned afterwards too, but it didn't. It looked the same.
I was bummed. I really wanted it to look.
I thought it was going to be
dramatically different.
a place that you couldn't cure because of how burned it was.
Yeah.
But no. But then now you have to help Toshi, which is the guy you meet in the beginning, right?
Yes.
He's like the first. He's not even a boss. You see him and then he teleports away.
Tells you to Get out of here, kid.
It's kind of like the Godslayer in The Pathless.
He is Troy Baker. He is like the Godslayer. But was it weird to you that he was the only person with like an accent?
Yeah, he was like the guy in Batman Begins.
Yeah.
Or like The Last Samurai.
It was kind of bizarre.
And then the one guy, the archer dude, he had a really distinct voice. I know I've heard him in other games before.
I liked him. I thought he was
cool.
I wish he like totally leaves the story.
Yeah, he's just gone.
It's like so bizarre.
I know. I feel like maybe they could have done something with him and Toshi or something.
Right? Because they seem like they're friends. I mean, they're in a cutscene together.
Mm-hmm.
During the Hunter one.
So, yeah.
That's weird.
I don't get it. But yeah, it was very odd that he was the only one with an accent.
Like a thick accent,
like a
too.
thick accent.
A thick, like, stereotypical Asian accent.
Yeah.
Like, no one else has... It's, like, not a big deal. It's just funny. It's just no one else has a
sticks out as a sore thumb because he's the only one.
It's like, if everyone had it, it would have been like, oh.
His dad doesn't even have it.
Yeah, even Zajuro doesn't have one. Yeah. But he says his name like that. Oh, my gosh.
But then I think he doesn't have the accent when he's talking to his dad. He only has the accent when he's talking to Kana.
Maybe you're right.
Because I didn't notice it during those cinematics.
Who knows?
Whatever. But
bizarre.
Yeah, this is when we get into Toshi, and you basically try fighting him immediately, and then he kicks you out. You learn the Spirit Dash move from Zajuro, which
should have been introduced hours ago, probably.
Yeah. And now, I don't know if I like these puzzles. They annoyed me because, like, they were easy. They're just so long. And there's 3 of, like, knowing the formula of the game at this point, there's 3 things you gotta do. And it's like, okay, just get me through this.
You can fly through them. Once you know what to do, it's fine. But this is what I'm talking about with the platforming. Where sometimes you'll jump up to a ledge, and Kana will just, like, be on, like, sticking to the ledge, and then just slowly slide down and die.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's so annoying when you've, like, thrown a bomb, shot 3 arrows, jumped, dashed through 3 portals, and then you jump to the ledge. She goes...
Yeah.
You just have to restart,
I
you know?
agree.
It's only wasting, like, 30 seconds of your time, but it's annoying.
But you go through these 3... to get the 3 relics for Toshi, you have to kill these 3 bosses. There's the Hunter, the Warrior, and this third one.
Mask Maker.
The Mask Maker, yeah, you're right. Which is odd.
Which is super weird. Like, okay, because this is where, for me, the narrative really broke down. Because Adira and Hana, I was like, oh, it's just not a super strong story. But, like, even though I like Toshi, and I really like his cinematic, I think it's interesting, and I get it. Like, I get him. I think he's an okay character. So, you go confront him, like you said. You try to fight him. And he immediately, like, whoa, he, like, stops you, you know?
Yeah.
And he knocks you to the ground. And he's like, Kana, you're just here for yourself. Like, you help these spirits, but really, it's all about you. Which, like, that works when Elena says that to Nathan in Uncharted 4, because he is being selfish, right? And he is, like, at first he's helping his brother and getting back into the pirate life because he wants to help his brother, but, like, but, you know, like, by the end of the game, he's just all in because he loves it and he's a freaking addict, you know? And so, like, that really hits home in that game because Elena's right and she's calling him out, right? But when Toshi does it to Kana, it's like, but she's not, you know? And
yeah, she's actually helping the spirits.
She's just a really nice person. And even when she talks to Zajuro is like, he wasn't wrong. And she's like, you're right. I want my dad to be proud of me.
Also, why wasn't the dad involved?
I know. They keep alluding to him, and then he never shows up at all in the story. I thought Toshi might be your dad or something. But, you know...
Yeah, you would think so, but, like...
He's not.
No, he's not, but you would think that maybe the last mask would have been her dad. Or, like, maybe she had her dad's mask or something. I wish they'd done something with the dad. Because it's just, like... Where are you, Dad?
Yeah, Kana's kind of whole story is about her dad.
That's why she's doing this. She's
Yeah.
trying to get to the mountain shrine.
So she can become a good spirit guide to make her dad proud. Like, that's the point. That's what she's doing.
And as a kid, like it shows in the after you meet Toshi, like she finds like a younger version of herself in like the spirit realm. And she's looking for her dad still. So does that make Kana a spirit?
That's what I hoped the ending would be, is that Kana would have found...
You were dead the whole time.
I thought it would have been a good ending. Everyone else is dead, you know? And she's
It would have been.
And this is her path to, like, heal and, like, move on.
Uh-huh.
Would have been a good ending. Didn't
Would
happen.
have been a great ending.
And
I
the
guess they
Rock
want a
gets to move on.
sequel, So
Spoiler alert. But, yeah, it's like they either needed more dad or less dad. And it could have been more dad and that
just
she's...
make it no dad at all.
Yeah, like...
Kana's just a good person.
Either Kana's just a good spirit guide, or her dad is a thing and she's trying to live up to his legacy, but she has to like make her own legacy sort of thing. Like he breaks the staff and she has to like make her own weapon, which would have made a lot more narrative sense leading up to the second boss fight. Because like, why is she fighting a hunter? Why is she fighting the warrior? Why is she fighting the mask maker?
Yeah.
Like I get you're getting the relics, but I feel like they could have made something out of it where she has to go like reclaim and like forge her own legacy as an individual spirit guide, and that like finding her inner power and like accepting that her father is gone and not holding on to him through the staff, like maybe that's how she gains true power.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have made more sense. Because it feels weird that you're just like fighting these people and getting these, because it's not the same as the other ones where it's like an area where they died. This one, she's just going to like random spirit realms to find random items, fighting random people.
Mm-hmm.
Even though these areas, in my opinion, have some of the best bosses.
Yes. Yes, they did.
But then the ending comes. You fight Toshi, and he's like Gwyn. You just have to parry him, weirdly enough. But then what happens is you beat him and he steals the rot from you. The rot, again, your little companions that you've accrued throughout the campaign. And he shows you their corrupt form, which is a boss from the Pathless. And it's a great design, though. Tell me what you think about it.
About the
corrupt rot god.
The corrupt rot god. Design was fine. I thought his moveset was really cool. How he would get out of the ring and shoot this death ray. I thought that was like super epic.
It's definitely an epic boss fight.
I felt like I was in an anime for a second.
Oh yeah, you're like dashing through it and you're super
Like,
orb.
whoa, this is cool.
It's awesome.
For the most part, it was really easy though. I don't remember any other move besides that one that it does.
He grabs you. He like
I
pounds
got
the
grabbed.
ground, but it's not a hard. Mechanically, it's not a hard boss fight.
But it was cool. And then I like that very much like the Pathless. You fight Toshi and the Rock God one-on-one each time. And then like you go through this like I don't know why Kana would leave the fight after like hurting the Rock God, but you get more of the rot back because you lose it all, just like your bird.
Yes. I think the rock god like throws you through into another dimension.
Okay.
Into the spirit realm.
Okay. So you get more rot. Yeah, afterwards you don't fight Toshi anymore, right? You just beat the rock guy and that's it.
Yeah, and then
What happens to
Zajiro.
Toshi turns good.
He accepts
He accepts that he did wrong.
what happened, yeah.
Which, by the way, I laugh so hard when he says, I want to end this suffering, and then he basically kills his dad.
Yeah. It was a really weird scene, right?
Yeah.
I want to end this suffering. And then the camera pans out, so you only see the house, and you hear him like scream. And then Zajiro just like fell out of his chair.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't look like he killed him.
It was weird.
Because Zajiro dies from the blast later.
Yeah. Which,
It's
by
so
the
bizarre.
way, with the blast stuff, it always showed like their spirits or like something leaving them. But then they were still alive.
This is the thing. I don't know if they were.
dead or
I
alive.
think it might have knocked their spirit out of their body, and the things they remember doing after that are like in spirit form.
Huh.
I don't know, because he kind of kills the beast afterwards, after the spirit's been knocked out of him, I think. No, it hasn't. I don't remember.
That's weird.
Really cool effect, though.
Yeah, it was really cool. But then, yeah, you fix the rock god, and then it flies away.
And then it moves on to the next
And then
life.
you meditate, and it's the end.
Yeah. So that's the story. It's kind of... like, it's really good, and then it kind of just falls apart. At least for me.
Yeah, I agree. Like,
I think a lot of people won't agree. Because this is the first game that we've done where I haven't looked at what other people think. I just really wanted like to just... this is a new thing. I don't want my opinion to be tainted. But even just from the headlines I've seen, people are really positive. And I think it's a great game and people should play it.
yeah.
But the story is not why they should play it, except for Taro.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think they should have released the game just through Taro for $20 and then made a better second part and released that for $20 and then made a better third part and released that for $20. Like a trilogy of small games.
Huh.
A trilogy of 4 to 5 hour games. Triple the platinums, guys.
But those thirds and stuff are only going to be 2 hours.
Oh, they could have been a little longer. Adira's is definitely not 2 hours.
I guess.
And Taro's is 5 hours. You could definitely get 5 hours out of it. I probably spent 5 hours there.
Yeah, maybe.
And then Toshi's is a little shorter, but that would give them time to make it real and give it a real reason to exist and like flesh it out.
I almost just wish the whole game was just about Taro.
I agree.
Because like you get with these other little characters and then they're gone. So like all of your connection with them is just for nothing. But I guess Zajiro says that's the lonely path that the spirit guide takes is, you meet people and you lose people.
Which is true.
I don't know what they could have done to make this better. They just make a better game, but just write it better.
Yeah.
Focus.
Yeah. It was a story thing.
Mm.
But it's okay. It was a good game. Still a good game.
It's a good game.
It is good game. Let's talk about the mechanic that I dislike the most. I love how like we have these games we really like and we just sound like we hate them. Like Hades, we sounded like we hated it. I love Hades.
Mm-hmm.
This game, I really like and maybe even love this game. It sounds like we hate it, but all that aside. I hate getting crystals and then spending it on hats that I don't want.
You have so many more crystals than you need.
Like thousands more.
It's crazy.
And the hardest puzzles are to get crystals.
Yeah. Also, like, I got the most expensive hat so early on. It's a unicorn.
Wow.
And I was like, well, what is this here? Why is it not like even Toshi's mask is like only 500.
I know.
And his mask is like this really cool one. It's huge on the rot. Which, speaking of the rot, why wasn't there like different versions of rot? Why was it always the same fat rot?
I know, every cutscene is the exact same rot.
Yeah, I was like, I thought there was going to be some variety here.
No.
The only variety you can get is from spending $10 extra for golden rot.
I know.
Which that pisses me off. That's stupid.
It's a dumb DLC. I definitely felt like this, and this is why I drew so many comparisons to the Pathless, because there is a loop in this game which is pretty much the same as the Pathless, where you're in this big open world and you go into these mini puzzle arenas and you solve a puzzle and you get something for it. The thing is, in the Pathless, it felt really validating and it really mattered because either you got lore, which was just really well done in that game.
Yeah.
You got a flap, which was amazing because the flaps are awesome.
Yeah.
Or you got health, or you got something that made it so the end boss would appear, or you made something that
Stamina.
There was just, it always added to your character.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in this game, it gave you crystals for hats you don't want. You know?
I know.
Like, that's not just me, right?
No, and my wife pointed this out. You can't just make an army of one hat.
It's so stupid. I wanted all cowboy hats.
Yeah. Yes, I did.
I was so mad. I had 10 of them. Oh, it made me mad. Like, why can't you just have infinite hats of the same type?
I know. I want a bunch of kings roaming around and crowns.
A bunch of faxes.
Yeah, a bunch of foxes or something. But no, depending on like how much it's worth, that's how many you can get.
Stupid.
So if it's worth, what is it? The least amount's 100 or 10.
Least amount's 10, but you can
That's
only have
crazy.
10 of that.
So you can have 10 of that, and then I think like 100, you have what?
5.
5 of that. It's crazy.
And then 500, you can only have 1. Yeah. Why would they limit me in this way? Like,
Yeah. It's,
why?
It's
Why?
very odd. Or like a bunch of pancakes.
That one was pretty cute.
Yeah.
There were a couple cute ones, you know?
But still, it's like, where are the hats adding to your experience?
Nothing. Okay. Like,
I played a second playthrough. I got halfway through Taro. I was about to fight Taro. That's as far as I went. It was because I missed a combat trophy, which there's a finite amount of enemies in this game, and the game doesn't tell you that. So if you get to the end and you've killed all the mages, you have to now play the game again until you find a mage.
dang.
Which is pretty far into Taro. It's like the very end of Taro's.
Yeah, it's like the last boss before Taro.
Yeah. And it was awful. I hate stuff like that.
What was the trophy?
You have to parry an orb back at a mage and kill it.
Because I like vaguely read that and didn't understand how I was supposed to send it back, but that makes sense. You have to parry it.
I did not parry until the post end game.
I
felt dodging was way more effective. The parrying time is off.
It's really weird. And that's what I mean. When I said you have to parry Toshi, I mean you have to dash into Toshi with like the power dash.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to parry, because never parry. If you try to parry, you're insane.
Yeah.
The timing is just weird. Maybe it's because we played a lot of Dark Souls, and so that like messes us up. It's like very immediate, but I could never get it. I could never get it right. I think it needs to be a little more generous with the parry time.
I agree. But I mean, that just sucks. That just sucks.
There should be a chapter select after you beat the
chapter
game.
select. There should be some sort of like thing where you can, I don't know, a challenge room where you can just use the combat in the game, you know. But no,
you're a fool.
I guess I was. But what were we talking about before I got into that?
About how frustrating it was to get crystals.
Yes.
And like I would say 75% of the puzzles result in crystals.
And 90% of the chests that you find, crystals. Oh my gosh. Enough with these crystals.
They should have made it so like you got more power from them maybe, or more health, or more stamina, or more shield, or something. Just anything other than the hats. I found it to be really frustrating. And eventually I just stopped exploring.
Yeah.
Which was sad, because I loved exploring the first area. But it takes forever too. Like, there must be 100 puzzles at least in the second world.
For sure.
It's never ending. But I didn't mind that in the Pathless.
I felt like
I don't
in
know
the
why.
Pathless, it was also just really rewarding just finding the puzzles, because they would be these huge
They were gorgeous
things.
and insane.
Oh, they're gorgeous, and yeah, like with the lore and everything, it was awesome.
What a great game.
Yeah.
We freaking short thrifted that game. That game was awesome.
You think so? I said it was my game of the year.
I loved that game, but I was hard on it. Granted, the story does suck to a degree, but still. Anyways.
Yeah, I still agree the best thing that game could have done was not have any actual dialogue, or subtitles. I mean, there was no dialogue.
Just Unga Bunga by Troy Baker.
Yeah.
I very much agree.
I'll bring up my biggest pet peeve with this game, and it's the map.
I hate maps.
Awful. Like, you look at it, it's pretty looking, but it doesn't tell you what you've done, where you've done it.
I wish it marked where the rot were that you found.
Exactly. So I don't have to keep looking in the same areas over and over and over again.
This game is a collectathon in the worst way.
There's like, I think 250 collectibles, and there's no way of knowing. The only way you can tell like which ones you've done is by like each one's broken up in a territory on the map, and it says how many you've gotten in that area, but it doesn't tell you where on the map. It's just like a little checkbox, and it's awful.
And the territories are huge.
Yeah, there's only like 6 maybe.
It's not obvious like where territories end unless you look at the map.
Yeah.
The village is way bigger than the village.
Yeah. It's not
weird.
just the main hub. It breaks off into 2 different directions. It's terrible.
Like the pathways leading to anyways. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, I hated the map. And then looking for the rot was terrible.
I'm trying to remember
the finite amount of enemies really hinder the platinum experience. But so what I had to do was thankfully I beat the game without completing everything first.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a save file where I knew there was 3 enemies. Or like just a group of enemies that I can go and farm certain trophies with. And one of them was like killing 3 enemies with 1 parry. Because like there's a little tiny little blast that happens when you do a parry. So I had to... First off, the AI is just dog poop when it's on easy. Like there is a stark difference between easy and medium. It's crazy.
Normal is hard.
Normal is pretty hard.
We should have said that before the spoiler thing. This game is hard, right?
It's like
it's not an easy game.
It's easy until it's not, for no reason.
But I really enjoyed it. I thought the bosses were like legit hard bosses.
Yeah, but sometimes I thought that how hard they were pretty lame because they would just add small enemies into it.
That's true, especially for me. And anyways, really we'll get to that. I don't want to interrupt you too much. Continue.
Yeah, but how was I even talking about?
Who cares?
What was I talking about?
Just kidding. I'm trying to remember. Oh, you saved the enemies to farm trophies.
Oh yeah. So I would set them on easy, so I could like quickly do it. But then the enemies would never get close to each other because they weren't being aggressive enough. So then I have to put it on medium, and that would send me back to a checkpoint. I have to go back to the enemies, and then saying on medium, I would get kind of too close to another red orb, and it would spawn the mini boss, and the mini boss can kill the other enemies. So like before I can even try to do my trophy, he's over there swinging his bat and kills one of the enemies. So I was like, I have to start over now. And one of them was like, you have to spirit walk through 3 enemies and kill them. You have to parry and kill 3 enemies with just the blast part.
You have to shoot through 3 of them. Use the rot hammer.
Yeah, it just the trophies in this game suck. But it's not the trophy's fault. It's just how the game is mechanically. And then obviously the rot is awful. And if you kill all the mages, and I think there's only 3 mages in the entire game.
It's not a lot.
You have to start over if you want to get that trophy. And that orb is different time. There's different timing for all the parries. It's really odd. I tried parrying the mage like 10 times. And then with the phase walk, I did that 7 times before it popped. Because apparently you're supposed to be a little bit further away than I was. And you're supposed to bounce through the enemies.
Bounce?
Yeah, when you do it, you bounce and you like do a special move at the end. And that counts it. But not if you just do it.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's awful. It doesn't explain that to you.
Weird.
Yeah. It was weird.
Wow. Confessions of a trophy hunter.
And then
sorry.
And then I only played this game once for the trophy. I was not going to play this game all the way through again on the hardest difficulty.
Dude,
Heck no.
I mean, like you said, this game was hard on normal. Like, I couldn't imagine playing it on master. I thought that several times when I was playing it. I was like, how could... I mean, it would be hours.
I would have played it on Master if it let me from the very beginning.
I think you would have regretted it.
Probably.
I'm scared. I'm scared to see what it would have done. Because this is the other thing.
I played a little bit on Master.
Some of the bosses have huge health pools. Like, especially that second Adira. It feels like the health pool just never ends.
Yeah.
And like, this is another mechanical problem that I have with the game. You can't dodge through magic until you have the dash.
Yeah.
But that wasn't like super clear to me at first for some reason.
I didn't know that.
Like, I tried it a million times and I thought I was getting my my dodge time wrong.
Yeah.
But for example, in the boss fight that we both struggled with, the Adira or whatever, probably saying her name wrong.
Workshop Knight.
Yeah, she would throw her flaming sword at you, but I think it was magic. It hit me almost every time.
Oh, there's no way to dodge it. I don't understand.
I think the only way I could dodge it was if I was across the arena and sprinting sideways, and then it wouldn't hit me. But like, if you dodge, doesn't matter when you dodge. It's because it's technically magic, I think. And so it hits you even if you're in the middle of a roll.
I hate that you can only heal like once or twice in each boss fight.
Dude, those flowers need to regenerate.
Yeah. Or there need to be like one or two more.
Or they need to actually heal you all the way.
Or you should have been able to use rot to heal.
Yeah.
Idiots.
Because it was really annoying when you're low health, and not only are you struggling to like heal, you have to find the flower. So you have to stop looking at your enemy who's throwing magic you can't dodge at you.
And there's 5 of them.
Yeah,
and you have to kill them in order to get rot.
There were several, and like it really worked well a lot of the time. There were just times when it didn't, and it was really noticeable, right?
Yeah.
And this is what I was talking about with the dash. Like these projectiles that you cannot dodge unless you're actually out of the way. They should have given you the dash earlier so that you could dodge through them. Because there were so many times when I just died because I kept trying to dash through the magic, but no one told me I couldn't, or I tried to dodge through the magic is the right word.
I agree. And then there was a big problem I had with the bosses lunging, because they would slow down at the last second.
Oh, they're very delayed.
I was just dumbfounded. I couldn't believe it. I was like, just follow through with it.
Yeah.
Is it trying to make it easier for kids to play, or is it trying to make it harder for people who understand timing?
I don't know. It made me think of Dark Souls. There are several bosses in Dark Souls that have really delayed swings. And maybe it was just trying to get you to
I feel like when
patterns.
they lunge and they're in the air, they would slow down and then fall into it.
Yeah, it makes me think of Artorias. Because Artorias will jump and he'll stay up there for like 2 seconds, and you have to be patient and wait till he's about to hit you and then dodge. So I think they were just trying to structure their bosses like Dark Souls. And it worked for the most part, but it was really annoying until I got that I needed to memorize their timing.
Maybe. I didn't like those bosses. The bosses I liked were the last one. Toshi was okay, but then the Hunter I really liked a lot. Hunter was the most different, I feel like, out of all of them, and it felt really cool.
I loved the Hunter. I loved that getting headshots like stun them.
Yeah,
it was so cool.
He's flying around through the trees. It was really cool looking.
That was probably my favorite boss.
And it made me use the bow.
Did you not use the bow very much?
I mean, I did. There were some parts where I was like, it's better for me just to kill the smaller enemies, build up my rot so I can just use the rot hammer 4 times.
Which destroys everything.
Destroy people. It just felt better.
I loved the bow. But if there's a bow in a game, I will use nothing but the bow.
Yeah.
That's just how I am. I just love the bow. It feels exactly like Horizon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does.
Like you have time slowed down when you're aiming in the air. R3 slows down time. It was really good.
I loved using the rot bow, like when you use the rot arrow.
It's so cool.
Goes
it like goes widescreen.
Yeah. It was really cool.
Oh my gosh, dude! It was.
I wish
so
there was more
cool.
stuff with the bow.
Well, if it's all you used, there was. So, I wish that you could a power I thought of. I wish you could like tag 3 enemies or something by shooting them, and then have every shot go, like shoot through all of them.
Did you ever hold the enemies and shoot them So like I never did that.
But it does like no damage.
Yeah, I felt like that would be the case.
I thought that it would be like, the same amount of damage, but it does like no damage.
Sounds like too much work.
It was dumb. I was really upset because it should have been like the same ability, but you tag like 1, 2, 3, and it goes do 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 do.
Yeah,
That'd have been cool.
or like a homing arrow.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they disappointed me
Or a
once
ricochet
again.
arrow would have been cool.
Yeah, it's okay.
Just
Or
think.
I wish you could equip, and I like throwing the bombs and shooting the bombs. That was really cool.
Yeah, if you shoot them before they explode, they do more damage.
And it felt cool to like throw them in between two enemies and slow down time and like shoot it
Yeah.
before it hit the ground. Like you feel so cool, when you do it. Yeah. There were a lot of moments in this game, especially during the combat, that just make you feel cool. And like the rot hammer is pretty cool too.
Yeah.
It's I like the combat, especially when you get the dash. It like tears people apart. Like it's stupid how much damage it does.
It's a little OP.
It was awesome though. It was really cool.
Yeah.
But that's everything I have to say about the gameplay, really.
Yeah, me too.
Do you want to go through the bosses really quickly? At least the important ones. I mean, did you like Taro? Because I thought Taro was a great boss fight.
Yeah, Taro was good. I like Taro. Taro was tough.
He's a giant spike in difficulty.
Yeah. Him and the first guy that has the shield.
He's still hard. Like,
yeah.
Even when you fight him during the last boss of the game, he's the hardest part of that boss fight.
Yeah.
Like, he would bring me down to half health every time I did that fight. It was horrible.
Yeah, some of these bosses there's some difficulty spikes that need to be fixed.
Taro's pretty hard. But I like that he's got the lantern. I like that you can shoot it. And especially during the last phase when you shoot it, you can only shoot it when he's running straight at you.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to choose to like stay in your ground. And when you do shoot it, he like barely skims past you falling down.
Really cool.
Oh, it's so cinematic. Yeah. It's really like, man, that boss fight is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's just definitely worth playing. Like just for that alone, it's so cool. And then Adiri's is fine. But it's not as good. But I liked that in the beginning, you can like throw the bomb at the thing and shoot 3 arrows like while you're jumping over the blast. Like bop, bop, bop. And then you go hit her.
Yeah.
But then it takes half an hour to kill her because she has so much health.
Yes. I don't know if I have anything else to say about the bosses. I already talked about the hunter, who I really liked.
How do you feel about the warrior?
The warrior was the one with the
like a halberd,
the sakura blossom tree, right?
Yes.
That was all right.
I didn't like him at first, but I didn't understand that I was supposed to be using the dash. And so for me, it was really rewarding to like realize, oh, I need to use this mechanic. And then I did, and it was like much more of like an evenly matched duel. So I thought it was really cool that way, but I wish you knew who they were.
Yeah.
With like the warrior and the hunter, like I wish there was some narrative weight to those, even though they're cool. I mean, you're fighting on this dock under this like beautiful tree at night, and it's like it has all the makings for an epic boss fight. You know, he's destroying the pillars and you're using dash and stuff, but it never really felt like it came home because there was no narrative weight.
Yeah.
But I liked that boss fight a lot. I think just because I learned like, oh, I need to use this, and then it was really cool there. Yeah. And Mask Maker is actually probably my least favorite of the good bosses. I don't even remember
what the Mask Maker is.
Just summons stuff and teleports around.
Oh, I hate that. I hated the ones that would like teleport before you can get to them. There's that one before Taro. Awful.
I will say though, like with the mages and stuff, they were really hard at first. But then when you realize you can stun lock them just by sprinting and like using the overhead attack.
Or if you use a bomb before they heal, it stops their heal.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty funny. Like some enemies you can trivialize just by stun locking them with that one move that takes away like a quarter of their health every time.
It's pretty good.
But yeah, and then Toshi is kind of a cool fight, but you have to be really aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to dash, hit, dash, hit, dash, hit. Like you can't allow him to come to you because his combo lasts
forever.
for an hour. Like it just keeps going.
I don't remember Toshi's fight too much either. I really just remember the hunter. Like the most memorable ones were the hunter and Rock God.
And Rock God was a good fight.
Mm-hmm.
Although I was really mad one time.
Why?
Then when you get to the final phase, you have to be near him and like see that the spears can have the rot affect them. But I wasn't really focused on that. You know, like there's like 1,000 enemies. There's projectiles everywhere.
Yeah.
You're just trying to survive. And so I had no idea what I was supposed to do. I ran around there trying to live for like probably 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Just no clue that I was supposed to take the spears out of his back. I didn't know they were spears. I thought they were just like spines. You know what I mean? Like, why would I think those were spears?
Yeah.
Anyway, this thing's like this gross conglomeration of stuff. Like, I wouldn't think those are spears. Anyways, eventually I had to look it up and I was like, oh. I thought his like spines just glowed gold when he was going to kill me. Like, I had no idea that I was supposed to pull those out, but then it kind of trivializes it and it's a really easy end. Which is almost lame.
It didn't give you the symbol.
It did, but it's like white.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
You know, on like a shining bright object with a white background behind it. So like I noticed it when I looked for it. But if I wasn't really looking up at his back because he's like rearing up to attack. So I'm like dodging away from him. You know, I'm trying to get to the other side of the arena.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was just a me thing though. I don't see things.
How'd you feel about the rock god turning into like a forest cat?
Moki is cute. I actually really liked him.
Yeah,
but he makes me think of my lost best friend, my cat, which we had to leave behind because he doesn't like being inside.
That's fine.
I liked him a lot, immensely. But I really like cats, so he was great. And then Toshi killed him. Bad Toshi.
So is the rock god dead?
Yeah, that's the last spirit that you help move on is the rock god.
Oh.
And then it phases out of existence.
Doesn't seem like it's dead.
He goes like, and then he like slams his body into the ground and like becomes spirit.
All right.
Looks really cool though. Love his design.
Yeah, it's cool.
And afterwards you
never see it ever again.
Well, he's gone. But the little rot has like his hair.
Yeah.
But it looks like a mullet.
Yeah.
Man, I hate that. But it's kind of cute though.
It's all right.
But yeah, I mean, what else is there to say? I feel like we've really gone pretty in depth on this.
It's a good game.
But at the end of the day, good game. How many photos did you take?
I don't know. I most of my photos were game breaking and disturbing. We'll have to put one in the video, but I went up close to one of the rot and I saw their gums and teeth.
Oh no.
I posted on Twitter, but we'll use it again. It's pretty awful. I took one or two ones that I was like, okay, I like these. There's one of Kana swimming. It looks like the Breaking Benjamin album. Like their collection or whatever. And then I took one of the rot, but forgot what they were doing. I think they were swimming. Yeah, I like that one. But the rest were just goofy.
Well, I took a bunch, so we'll have some to show.
No, cool.
But yeah.
Is it time for fast ones?
I think it's time for fast ones.
Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first? I got like 6.
Are yours like real questions?
Not really.
I'll go first.
Okay.
There you guys go. Oh, you kind of just answered this. Use photo mode or actually play the game?
Actually play the game.
That's good though. It's a better use of your time. I probably spent at least a couple hours in photo mode.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
Why took you so long?
Just enjoying it too much. Which animal would your mask be like? Because Toshi has like a sort of elk thing. Adira has wood. And Taro has like a cute little fox.
Yeah.
What would your mask? And then Zajiro has like a weird mask too.
Yeah, I don't even know what Zajiro's is.
What animal would yours be?
I don't know. Be like Look up Pomeranian. Or
I love that, actually. You'd be like Sam.
maybe a lion
Ooh, hello.
or a badger.
I mean, the Pomeranian is the small lion of the dog species.
So yeah.
I feel like you'd be a
I feel like I'd be a
Pomeranian-sized
fox,
lion.
but fox was already taken, so I don't want to be lame.
You can't be a fox. You'd be a red Pomeranian. I like it.
All right, cool. What about you? Be a cat.
Be a cat.
Yeah.
I like them too much. I hate the cat mask or the cat hat you can get for the rot, though.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's like red and black.
It's like some calico cat, right?
Be a cat. What are you doing?
Punch that cat in the face.
Punch it. If you have a calico cat, punch it in the face right now.
Don't do it.
Don't do that. Tell me, Taro or Adaris? I don't remember her name.
Taro, of course.
Obviously. Taro or Toshi?
Taro.
Taro, obviously. Bow or spear?
Bow.
That is correct. Meditate or go find some rot?
Meditate.
I very much agree. That is the thing I liked about this game. Every time she sat down to meditate, I would like slowly breathe in and out for like 30 seconds. It was actually really nice.
No, I didn't do that. As soon as I got the health, I was out of there. I didn't care. It's not like there's meditating in Ghost of Tsushima,
Yeah.
and they just did it way better. I was like,
Really?
oh, it was so good.
Man, I need to play this ghost game everyone's been talking
He
about.
does like Sudoku.
You mean haikus?
Or haiku, I mean.
It's a Sudoku.
He does Sudoku.
He just sits down, opens his 1,000 Sudoku puzzles book.
No, he does. Yeah, he does like you make a haiku,
Yeah, I've heard about this.
and it's amazing.
Can you make dumb ones?
Probably.
Dang.
I'm playing through it again right now, but
My dad's been listening to Ghost of Tsushima music on the way to work.
oh yeah, nice,
I don't even know how this happened,
so good.
but I'm excited. That's
You should
in
show
the
him
next
this
couple.
soundtrack.
What was that?
You should show him Kana's soundtrack.
I will. He didn't like the opening song though.
Oh well, I don't remember the opening song, but I like the
The good stuff is
flashback.
good.
The flashback songs.
Yeah,
Those are the good ones.
the, like powerful ones or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, funny. Get more diamonds or give up on exploring
Give
and
up.
delete the game.
Delete the game.
That is very true. Very, very true, my friend. Kenna or Kana?
I'm gonna stick with Kena.
That's wise. I understand. What do you want to see next from Ember Lab?
Nothing. No, I don't know. I don't know if I want to see another Kena or Kana. Make a game where like the pronunciation of the name is clear. Don't just make up how you say things. Because everyone was saying Kenna.
I was saying Kana.
Kenna, Bridge of Spirits.
I knew it was Kana.
Hey, Kana, Bridge of Spirits. Kana just doesn't roll off the tongue very well.
Kana.
I would like to see, if they stick with this art style, which I like, maybe they can stick with the Bridge of Spirits or whatever this world, and they do more like an island thing, like a Moana.
Oh, they need to do Moana.
Yeah,
I would actually kind of like that. Just
With
like a
little
different
tiki
locale.
guys?
Oh, little tiki
little rat
guys.
with tiki masks.
That'd be cute.
It would be cute.
I would like that. I wouldn't mind that.
Just keep Dwayne Johnson away.
Get
I
out of
don't
here,
want Dwayne
The
Johnson.
Rock. Yeah. I'd like to see them do anything. I mean, I really liked this game.
Mhm.
Do you think Sony should look into these guys, give them a good
No.
look? Really?
Just let them do their thing. Do their thing.
I think this... What was the other game we talked about that with, where you were like, should Sony acquire these guys? Do you remember?
I don't.
It wasn't Housemarque, because they did acquire them, obviously.
Yeah.
It was just recently.
It was a recent.
We talked about it, and I feel like, I mean, Ember Labs would be a much better get than whatever that studio was.
Probably. I mean, Ember Labs would be cool, but I feel like, I don't know, it'd just be more the same. I mean, if they get Ember Labs and just make them do Jack and Daxter.
That'd be great. I think their art team, like, obviously has a ton of skill, because this game is just, to me, absolutely breathtaking, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they could be used to good effect. They give them an actual writer, perhaps. That'd be good.
Oh, was it a Plague Tale?
No,
No.
because I would have said maybe yes, because A Plague Tale is actually really, really good. A Plague Tale is definitely better than this game. But that's me personally. I really loved A Plague Tale.
I don't know which one I liked more. I probably like this more.
You hated A Plague Tale, so
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
it was
Could have
probably
been Supergiant with Hades.
it was probably during a Futon Friday, and so we were just talking about a bunch of stuff, and
Probably.
we don't know.
I don't know. They already got enough teams.
I think they're fine at this point, but I hope Ember Lab keeps making games because this was awesome, and I really hope that people support them. Like I said, first game ever made. Really great for that. Hello.
A little hungry. I don't know if I think Sony needs to be looking at other bigger fish, maybe
Maybe blue ones
like Blue
with
Point,
big points on them. Yeah.
Remedy, maybe.
Ooh, Remedy would be great.
From Software would be the killer.
Yeah, but I mean, those all would cost 20 times as much as Ember Lab. They could probably just give Ember Lab free lunches and they'd join up. I mean, Ember Lab doesn't even have a physical release for Kena.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
It's like, if they're going to acquire them, now would be a good time before they get huge. But I'm not saying they should.
Yeah,
I thought this game was awesome.
I don't know what they can add to Sony's repertoire then. Just more of the same.
I think I like this game a lot more than you, just from the way you're talking about it. You sound like you dislike it.
No, I like it. I don't think a company needs to buy them for this game.
I think it's up there. It's going to be one of the top 10 of this year.
Oh, okay.
What's happened this year?
A lot.
Hitman 3.
I mean, you want me to pull up a list of things that happened this year?
I think for me, this is one of the... It's just most substantial. It's incredible. Even though there are problems I have with it, I think this game is really important. But
Yeah,
anyway,
it's good.
tell me, is it too long or is it too short?
It's a hair too long.
I agree. And they need to shave off like an hour or two. Or they need to flesh it out more. It's one of the two. Which boss was hardest?
Oh, for sure, Adira's.
I agree. It was
It was annoying. It wasn't like the game's not hard. It's just annoying.
Thought
like,
it was hard.
Having to dodge Adira's boss while like focusing on 3 different enemies, and it's doing these giant AOE attacks. We have to jump through hoops of fire. Yeah, it's just annoying. And then you can only heal twice. So if you get hit once and it takes off half your health with one hit, it kind of sucks. And then you have to like keep using the bomb for the first half of the fight to just weaken him.
It's to open up the forge.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Adira's was the hardest for sure. And maybe a close second was Taro's.
Taro's was hard too.
I thought the game got easier as it went on.
I think you got better.
After the Adira fight.
I feel you. But I thought it was really good.
Oh, good.
But those are all my fast ones.
Okay.
What do you got for me, my
There's
friend?
some really fast ones. Play it once or twice.
Once.
Yeah. Should there be difficulty options? Or should they have just like honed in on what the game should feel like?
I feel like the difficulty options were actually fine in this game because it's like an E10 plus game. I mean, you're going to get little kids playing this game, and I think that the difficulty that's normal is way too hard for a kid, personally. I mean, I thought it was hard. Like, legitimately a difficult game, and I don't think it was unfair. I think it was hard. So I think that it's fine. I think it's a good thing.
I don't know if difficulty is what I was looking for with this game, though.
I don't know, but I was pleasantly surprised. It's funny. We were playing this game to take a break from Dark Souls, and it was actually quite a bit like Dark Souls when it came to like the feeling of going against bosses.
Yeah. Oof. I'm getting really hungry.
Excuse us.
Rock God or Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, Toothless. I love Toothless.
Because they're basically the same design, except for one has grass on its face.
One's nice, though.
Yeah. Ra or any other name.
Any other name.
Yeah, Ra was a pretty bad name.
It's like, I get it, but that doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah, it's not a good name.
It's like, it fits into the narrative, but that doesn't mean it's a good name. Yeah.
I mean, they could have done anything. Just call it Spirits. I don't...
Anything other than rot.
Anything. Forest Guardians.
Yeah.
Forest Critters.
Forest critters. Some other word that means rot, but that is not the word rot.
Dirt.
Even dirt. Even dirt would have been better. Let's call him plague. Death.
Those are all my very fast ones.
Oh, that was wonderful, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you.
I've enjoyed talking to you about this.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys have enjoyed listening to us, but more than anything, we want to talk to you guys. If you guys have any thoughts on a little ditty called Dark Souls 2, please comment on this video the questions that you want us to answer for that game. Maybe if you've had an experience, being ganked or something in that game and crying all night
and then
losing a million souls.
Should we have a question for the lore and then maybe a question for the bosses, since we're doing 2 separate episodes like that?
You're a genius. You're a genius, Chris. That's the way we're structuring the next episode. We're doing a lore episode for Dark Souls 2, which is kind of going over what happens in it as well as comparing it to Dark Souls 1. And then we're also doing an episode where we go in depth on the bosses and, rank them. Do what we usually do.
Yes.
But, so if you have questions or experiences with a boss in particular, please, we beg you, comment. We want to hear what you have to say, and we'll include that in the the Souls boss videos. And then when we do, and if you have any questions or observations about the lore, we'll include that, and we'll talk about that in the lore video. And if you want to help us out in another way, if you want to help us out even more than commenting, which helps a lot, please like the video, subscribe to us, and if you really want to help, go to www.patreon.com/futontalks and sign up to be a patron. Donate a little money on the side.
Please.
And that is what makes it so we can have equipment, we can give you more content, we can record more often, and we can make it so you have more of us in your life.
Sounds pretty good.
Great deal to me. But that's all there is for today. We thank you guys for listening. We love you. And we hope you have a fantastic day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.